The apocalypse is coming. Others are scrambling for supplies. My family runs a renovation company. In my past life, I built a safe house for my boyfriend, but we were blocked outside and my whole family was killed. In this life, I'm taking the safe house. I'm going to eat steak and drink red wine. And watch that scumbag being chased by zombies. I woke up and was reborn 10 days before the apocalypse. I can't forget this face even if I die. Last time, Felix had my family do renovations, but never paid the final balance. In the end, my whole family was eaten by zombies. At this moment, he's hypocritically handing me a sketch.
Darling, for our future, I want to start a themed bed and breakfast. I'll choose your family's renovation company.
But the next second, I heard his voice again.
Anyway, the apocalypse is coming. I'm not planning to pay before the renovation.
Wait, that voice. I suddenly looked up. Felix's mouth didn't move at all. Could it be that after being reborn, I can hear his thoughts? I looked down at the design requirements. Military-grade protection, independent security systems, extra-large storage room. It was exactly the same as the order from my previous life, so from the very beginning, he never intended to take me with him. My heart was full of hatred, but I smiled. Darling, this plan of yours is too basic. How can you make a bed and breakfast that's also unique? I pulled out a more luxurious plan. Special. Recommendation: the Supreme VIP package. Titanium alloy door. Air filtration system. Not even a cockroach can get in. His eyes lit up.
Alright, I'll take this one. However, I'm a bit tight on cash right now. I have a house under my name. I'll mortgage it to your dad's company first and sell it next month. I'll pay in full immediately.
But his thoughts were...
Excellent. This foolish girl is really in love. Once the zombies come, this crappy company will be gone. No need for the final payment either.
I smiled and handed him the mortgage contract. He signed quickly. Afraid I'd changed my mind, I heard his thoughts again.
Another family fool. Next step, I'll take this house to get a loan and empty out all the nearby supermarkets.
As soon as Felix left, I burst out laughing. The moment I heard his thoughts, I wakened. It turned out this world was a book about stockpiling for the apocalypse. Felix was the protagonist, and I was cannon fodder. In the book, he was reborn knowing about the apocalypse, and used my status as his loving girlfriend's family, and our relationship to secretly hoard supplies and build a fortress. After the apocalypse, he became a warlord. How ironic. My family, 3 generations of military-grade safe house experts. In my past life, we actually died outside the safe house we designed ourselves. The most disgusting thing was, after a month, my parents and I knelt and begged him to sell us some supplies. We begged him to save us for the sake of our past relationship, but he was in the safe house, embracing several women, and used a loudspeaker to humiliate me. He told me to bark like a dog for supplies. For my family, I did it. The man I once loved looked at me like trash and deliberately attracted zombies. Our whole family was torn apart alive. The novel's author even noted, this plot is necessary to highlight the male lead's decisive nature. Thinking of this, my fingernails dug into my palms from hatred. Felix, in this life, it's your turn to be the cannon fodder the plot needs. The next day, I brought the renovation crew to the air raid shelter. I have to say, the air raid shelter Felix chose was a treasure. Not only was the basement spacious, it's built in concrete walls, even met war-level protection standards. Felix was still acting.
Darling, the underground area needs to be divided into living zones.
He leaned close to my ear, his tone intimate.
Apocalypse survival enthusiasts are rich now. This is a big project.
It's hilarious, this clumsy acting. If I couldn't hear his thoughts, I almost would have believed him again.
This foolish girl probably hasn't noticed anything, right? Plain perfect.
I pretended to be coy and pushed him away, then turned to the crew behind me and say, Foreman, install new solar panels on the hillside. The renovation workers looked troubled.
Boss? The generator factory wants a deposit.
I immediately turned to Felix, hugged my arm through his, and swayed it. My voice was sickly sweet. Darling, didn't you say this was a multi-million-dollar project? The deposit certainly won't be a problem, right?
Right, definitely. I'll even give you a big red packet when it's done, baby.
Felix wiped his sweat, but in his mind he was thinking,
Pay the deposit. Money's less again. It's fine, I'll go get some more.
During these renovation days, several trucks rumbled in. Leading the way was a giant freezer truck, followed by refrigerated trucks full of frozen goods. 100 frozen whole pigs, 50 sheep, 20 cattle. Felix was still pretending to talk to me about making money from the bed and breakfast in the future. He said the place was big, so they could also do some frozen goods business. But his true thoughts were,
when the apocalypse comes, one piece of steak will make the campus bellow bay.
Right in front of me, his official girlfriend. He was already thinking about other women. Then, the pharmaceutical company delivered 3 trucks of medicine. Antibiotics, painkillers, and even several boxes of children's cough syrup. I pretended to check the design drawings and sneered inwardly. Suddenly, there was a rumble at the entrance of the air raid shelter. I looked up, and wow, he'd moved the entire canning factory here. Canned fruits, canned fish, and 20 boxes of luncheon meat. I casually picked up a can of braised green beans. There were even canned vegetables. I quietly made a mental note. Frozen meat, medicine, and canned goods, these will all be mine eventually. These past few days, the safe house has been undergoing urgent renovations. I came to supervise as usual. Felix suddenly appeared. He forced a flattering smile, took my hand and said,
Darling, can the project be sped up?
His voice was gentle, but his thoughts were raging.
Only 5 days left. The zombies are coming. What is this woman dawdling for?
I couldn't help but laugh. He's anxious. He's anxious. In my past life, the safe house was completed 3 days before the apocalypse. In this life, I decided to delay the construction by another 3 days. I just love seeing him squirm with impatience, yet still having to force a smile. Apocalypse countdown. 3 days. Felix with panda eyes rushed over.
Darling, why isn't the main date for the expedited project installed yet? 3 days. This woman is definitely messing with me. Today should have been the completion day. But the most important door isn't even here.
I slowly put my hands in my pockets, calm and composed. Oh, don't get excited. The renovation is almost done. Shouldn't some of the project payment be settled? The workers are waiting for their pay. Felix's face turned ashen.
Baby, just wait a bit longer. As soon as the house is transferred, I'll give it to you immediately.
Even now, he still wanted to deceive me. I started to act, pretending to sigh. We must settle some of it today. Otherwise, the workers won't do anything. This door still won't be installed in a week. I pointed to the entrance of the air raid shelter. With a distorted expression, he transferred some money to me via his phone.
This little girl, when the zombies come, you'll be kneeling and begging me.
Upon receiving the deposit notification, I immediately shouted to the workers, "It's payday. Make sure to install the main door within 3 days." The workers, after getting paid, were full of energy. Under my meticulous guidance, the bulletproof titanium alloy door was installed securely the day before the apocalypse. Felix came to inspect it. I told him the password for the door was his birthday. Don't forget the final payment. He forced an ugly smile. His inner thoughts were vicious.
The final payment in your next life.
Next life? But I was the one who drew the blueprints for the safe house. 12 hours until the apocalypse. I raced home, deadbolted the security door, and drew the curtains tightly. My mom, holding a spatula, looked at me quizzically. "Daughter, what's with this commotion? Were you chased by a dog?" I panted, much more exciting than being chased by a dog. "Mom, tonight the apocalypse is coming." I slapped 3 documents onto the dining table. The fallout shelter design plans, the supplies list, and that heartbreaking mortgage contract. I told my parents about the horrific way we were torn apart by zombies in my past life. Tears streamed down my face. I've restarted this game, and this time I'll protect my family no matter what. I laid out my plan. "Mom, Dad, Felix will go to a bar tonight to party. At midnight, the fallout shelter will be empty. Tonight is my only chance to reclaim the safe house. Oh, and there's one more thing I must do now." In the Marion construction crew group chat, I started typing. "Everyone, Marion Company is having an emergency holiday. Wages have been settled. Everyone immediately purchase a large amount of supplies. Await further notice from the government." The moment the message went out, the group was flooded with skeptical voices. But soon only Roger remained. Finally, there was a voice message from Foreman Liam.
Girl, I trust you.
I breathed a sigh of relief. Saving one is still saving one. I immediately sat back down at the computer and emailed the community. The email contained an apocalypse warning, listing future high-risk zones for zombies, an apocalypse survival guide, and the email addresses of major media outlets. I sent it all. Mom placed a fruit platter on the table. "You girl have a sharp tongue but a soft heart." I didn't say anything. In my heart, this wasn't just a story. Every person here was real. 6 hours until the apocalypse. 6 p.m. sharp. My phone suddenly received many messages. Breaking news. Vicious incidents of people biting people in Japan. The infected are spreading. Abnormal attacks, possibly zombies, reported in America. I shut up from my chair. Rushed to the window. Outside, the city of Marianne was still brightly lit. But I knew the apocalypse with its hordes of zombies was coming soon. I suppressed my anxiety and frantically refreshed Felix's social media feed. In my past life, he left at this exact time. Sure enough, at 6:30 p.m., his status updated on schedule. A location screenshot of a VIP room at a bar. Captioned,
Final fling.
"Tonight he will be there. And meet the original female lead, Tiffany." 3 hours until the apocalypse. The night pressed down heavily. Police sirens wailed in the distance, but soon faded away. The zombies would soon silence them. "Mom, let's go." I started the car. The car was deathly silent. Only the sound of our 3 increasingly heavy heartbeats. The car struggled up the mountain. Under the moonlight, the entrance to the fallout shelter was pitch black. At this time, Felix should still be at the bar, enjoying his last moments of debauchery before the zombies arrived. I stood before the titanium alloy door, my fingers trembling slightly. I designed this door myself. And designers always leave themselves a back door. I set up a dual password system. Now on the control panel, I entered the highest authority password. PO level authority verification passed. Felix's set password was completely invalidated. The Apocalypse safe house now belongs to me. This place will keep us safe from the zombies. The moment we rushed into the fallout shelter, the cold white emergency lights automatically turned on. In the empty cave, mountains of supplies gleamed enticingly under the lights. Canned goods, bottled water, medicine, and even an entire wall of cold weapons to fight off zombies. "Mom, Dad, you guys rest first." I went straight to the console, my finger hovering over the red button. "No." With a reassuring mechanical click, the 5-ton alloy gate slowly lowered, completely locking the zombie-filled apocalypse outside. Large red characters flashed on the control screen. "System locked. Safe mode activated. Remaining time infinite." Phew. I slumped into the chair. This time, I finally protected them from the zombies. Next, it's time to watch the show. Felix, without the safe house, let's see how you'll be the savior against the zombies. The fallout shelter I designed has double-layer defense. The outer layer is a 20 centimeters thick alloy door. The inner layer is panoramic bulletproof glass, allowing a 360-degree view of the entire mountain forest to spot any approaching zombies. In my past life, Felix loved standing here, like looking at ants, watching the struggling survivors outside, fending off zombies and the infected. And now it's someone else's turn to watch. Not long after, on the surveillance footage, a modified sports car roared towards the fallout shelter. The car door opened. Felix got out first, followed by 2 heavily make-up women. It was Tiffany, the woman who made me bark like a dog in my past life, and another unfamiliar face. They were shooting daggers at each other with their eyes. This guy, he was actually thinking he only brought 2.
Barely enough. When the zombie apocalypse breaks out, beautiful women will be kneeling and begging me.
Suddenly, he noticed the tire tracks on the ground. He paused.
Strange tire tracks on the ground. Someone's been here? Impossible.
Indeed. The protagonist's arrogance isn't so easily shattered. He turned, putting on his affectionate, domineering CEO face, and smiled at the 2 women.
Darlings, welcome to Apocalypse Paradise.
Tiffany swayed her hips as she got out of the car, deliberately bumping into the other woman.
Know your place. Brother Felix dotes on me the most.
The other woman rolled her eyes.
"What are you pretending for? With that face of yours, even your own mother wouldn't recognize you."
Felix hypocritically put his arms around both of them.
Don't argue, you're both my little sweethearts.
But inwardly, he was ecstatic.
Yes. The more you fight, the more I enjoy it.
He walked smugly to the door, pressed his fingerprint. First verification failed. Felix's smile froze instantly. He didn't believe it. He tried the password a few more times, but received a permission revoked message. Just then, Tiffany settled up, whining.
Brother, I'm scared of the dark.
Felix whipped around and slapped Tiffany across the face. Tiffany stepped aside, tears welling in her eyes, but she didn't dare let them fall. After all, it was late at night in the outskirts, and the thought of zombies was terrifying. Finally, Felix's face turned a ghastly pale, and he violently pulled out his phone. My screen lit up. It was a call from the male lead, Felix. I slowly pressed the speakerphone button.
Darling, is the safe house system infected with the virus? Possibly from the zombies. How can I now have permission? Is there any other way to get in?
But his inner voice was not so pleasant.
Marianne, you better not be behind us, you scum. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Why won't the door open? Is it broken?
Frantic banging on the door came from outside, but I was smiling gleefully at the surveillance monitor. The door isn't broken. The password is just wrong. No final payment. The fallout shelter is mine now. On the screen, Felix's face twisted instantly. But the next second, he switched back to a gentle expression.
Baby, didn't we agree I'd give you the final payment once my house is sold? Calm down. This love-struck fool must have misunderstood something. First, coax her to open the door. The zombies are coming. Can't be locked out.
His inner thoughts were completely exposed. I rolled my eyes. The zombies are almost here, and he's still deceiving me. Hiding things from me. I reminded him to look at Article 37 of the contract. Overdue final payment. The fallout shelter belongs to the renovation company. Now he understood. His dream of ruling the zombie apocalypse as an emperor was shattered. Unexpectedly, he suddenly threw himself against the bulletproof glass. Desperation off the charts.
Mari, are you in there? Open the door. I only love you. Let me in.
His voice trembled. His inner voice was also full of panic. Indeed, faint screams could be heard in the distance, the sounds of zombies attacking, getting closer. However, I just hung up the phone and walked towards the soft, large bed. You know, the living area of this basement was built to top hotel standards. I slept exceptionally soundly that night, ready to welcome the zombie apocalypse tomorrow, day one of the apocalypse. On the street, a drunkard suddenly bit his companion, turning him into one of the infected. The bitten person twitched and collapsed. A few minutes later, he contorted and rose, now a zombie. His eyeballs were pitch black, joints bent backwards. A guttural growl emanated from his throat, the classic sound of zombies. 3 hours later, the entire city collectively entered emergency mode. Zombies were everywhere. My phone was constantly vibrating. Various group chats exploded.
My colleague turned into a zombie at work. Who understands? The apocalypse is here. So many zombies. Does this mean I don't have to pay my mortgage? Because of the zombies? My husband mutated? He's one of the infected.
The property management was still struggling to issue announcements.
Please everyone remain calm despite the zombies.
But there were no effective measures against the zombies. It seems the hundreds of anonymous warning emails I sent out ultimately didn't change anything about the zombie outbreak. The renovation foreman group, however, was cheerful.
Thanks to Boss Mari for forcing us to hoard supplies. My wife now sleeps hugging canned food. She'll fight anyone who touches it.
Reading these, I felt relieved. The aroma of black pepper steak wafted over. Time to eat. Mom was frying steak. Honey, come quick. Today we celebrate our housewarming. Dad was even more extreme. He set up the go board in the living room, calling it cultivating sentiment even in the zombie apocalypse. At this time in my past life, I was outside being chased by zombies, while Felix was living it up in the safe house. Now I'm living peacefully in the safe house, protected from the zombies. Just like that, a week passed in isolation. The internet was intermittent. I scrolled through the news every day, watching the outside world crumble bit by bit due to the zombies. Supermarkets were looted. On the black market, a pack of biscuits could be exchanged for 10 gold chains. Cash had long become waste paper. Occasionally, I would hear Felix's inner thoughts. This guy actually managed to join the Apocalypse off-road gang, the very same group he vowed to annihilate in his past life. Is this the so-called protagonist Halo? Surviving zombies and the infected no matter what, unable to follow the apocalypse hoarding route, he immediately became an apocalypse gangster. Even if the world ended and zombies roamed free, he could still thrive. The messages in the WeChat groups became fewer and fewer. The property management group, active just yesterday, only had a few scattered pleas for help today, likely overrun by zombies. Those once lively avatars, grayed out one by one, never to light up again, victims of the zombies. I stood at the entrance of the fallout shelter, pulled open the blackout curtain and looked out. In the distance, only a few overturned cars littered the ground. Occasionally, I could hear piercing screams from afar, but they were quickly drowned out by the low growls of zombies. I retreated back into the basement, looking at the supplies inside. I suddenly felt much more at ease. Half a month into the apocalypse, I was petting a cat that had somehow snuck in. It felt wonderful. Suddenly, my phone buzzed frantically. Felix's messages flooded the screen.
Marianne, open the door within an hour, or I'll flatten your damn hole.
Attached was a high-definition photo. A dozen modified ramshackle cars surrounded my house. Beside them, a large bulldozer covered in unidentifiable flesh, likely from zombies. Several thugs holding knives, guns, and clubs stood arrogantly. In the C position, of course, was our male lead, Felix. With on, I'm the king of the world expression.
Small scene. My kingly aura. Isn't it intimidating? When the door opens later, I must devour several pounds of beef and then take a hot bath.
In the corner of the photo, there was a familiar face. Tiffany, the female lead from the past life. Now she looked like a ragdoll thrown on the car roof. Her eyes vacant, like a character from The Walking Dead, surrounded by zombies, listening to Felix's overly confident inner voice. I almost burst out laughing. Wanna eat meat? Wanna take a bath? Dream on. Today, I'll let you starve with longing. I leisurely went to the first floor of the fallout shelter. Sat comfortably behind the bulletproof glass. Pop, I opened a bottle of 82 Lafite. Then I picked up a knife and fork, and elegantly sliced into the freshly fried sizzling, greasy, and fragrant black pepper steak that Mom had just made. Time to give a live eating show. For the starving crowd outside, who were likely surrounded by zombies. Sure enough, dozens of pairs of eyes outside the glass instantly turned green, staring intently at the beef on my plate. Tiffany's lips trembled, her eyes shining. Felix's face contorted. He started cursing loudly, but his vocabulary was pitifully limited.
This woman, she's definitely doing this on purpose. That steak looks so delicious. It was all supposed to be mine. When I get in, she'd be crying.
Tired of cursing, Felix muttered a few words to his muscular, but not so bright underlings.
Cursing is useless. Use it. Bold ass, sir. Ran this damn door down for me.
Soon, a deafening roar. That dilapidated bulldozer, covered in zombie fragments, wobbled over. Oh ho, physical breach? Wild idea. Too bad, no brains. I swirled the wine in my glass watching the show. This fallout shelter is a super fortress welded into the mountain's bedrock. The outer shell is military-grade titanium alloy. This broken bulldozer will just make some noise against it, not even scratch it, let alone protect from zombies. The shovel slammed against the door again and again. Sparks flew, quite a few. After ramming for a long time, the door didn't even have a scratch.
What's going on? Why is this door so hard? Impossible. I'm reincarnated. The script shouldn't be like this. The bulldozer is almost out of fuel. Why isn't the door open yet?
Felix's inner voice completely broke down. Seeing that the forced entry failed, and the bulldozer was almost out of fuel, Felix's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Then the style suddenly changed. Felix, facing the monitor, began his heartfelt performance.
Mari, I was wrong. I shouldn't have owed your family the final payment. I did all that for our future. Forgive me this once.
His inner schemes were racing.
Yes. Soften up first, trick her into opening the door, then we'll talk.
Ooh, this exaggerated acting is cringeworthy. How did I fall for this nonsense in my past life? Surrounded by zombies, I was so naive. Eventually, the bulldozer completely died. Seeing no reaction from me, Felix and his rabble, potential zombie fodder, could only curse and swear, and drive away in their battered cars, defeated and dejected. But before he left, he was still thinking resentfully.
Just wait. I know. About Abandoned's secret passage. I will definitely be back. Next time, you won't be so lucky.
What secret passage? This safe house of mine has an entrance I don't know about? Wait a minute. The little cat that mysteriously appeared this morning, could it have come in through that secret passage? Where on earth is the secret passage? I practically pressed my face against the wall, the flashlight beam repeatedly scanning every ventilation shaft. Once, twice, 3 times, but nothing. Just then my phone buzzed. The group chat named Renovation Company occupying the safe house popped up. It was full of people claiming to be acquaintances and neighbors, all potential zombie targets. The spear was pointed directly at me. Felix, is this your backup plan? A beer-bellied avatar spoke first.
Hey girl. We watched you grow up. It's the apocalypse. You can't forget us now that zombies are here.
Then Aunt Natalie's voice message popped up. Her voice choked with sobs.
Mari, my little bat, was only 7 years old. He has a fever of 40 degrees Celsius.
Wait a minute. I remember very clearly. Her son just graduated from college last year. I even liked her social media post about it. Can the zombie apocalypse make people younger? A news link suddenly popped up. Female renovation boss monopolizes safe house. Elderly and weak lives hang by a thread from zombies. The accompanying picture was actually my work photo, photoshopped with devil horns. The comment section instantly turned into a moral high ground. One by one, they stood on their pedestals, pointing fingers at me. But they never mentioned what they really wanted were supplies to survive the zombies. After all, begging while trying to maintain a facade of righteousness is a traditional virtue. Felix's new inner voice wafted over.
This person is best at this kind of moral blackmail. It'll be fine once they start causing a scene.
That smug tone. As if he could already see me kneeling and begging for mercy from the zombies and him. Does he really think I'm a reincarnated saint? I typed with a cold smile. Compressed biscuits will be distributed in the afternoon. The group chat's tone immediately changed.
I knew Mari was the most sensible. We didn't dote on this child for nothing.
I closed the group chat. My finger swiped across the control panel. The safe house's attack system activated. Let's see how they handle these defenses against zombies. Since they love acting so much, then let them act all they want. Outside the bulletproof glass, the people claiming to be my neighbors, my relatives, stared intently at everything inside the safe house. Some even used bricks, steel pipes, and even fire axes to smash against the metal door, desperate to get away from the zombies. Felix's new inner voice wafted over.
Make a scene. The more chaotic, the better. When Marianne panics, I'll go in through the secret passage and take over the safe house.
He really was planning to seize power during the chaos. I have to deal with these people in front of me immediately, before more zombies arrive. I activated the item exchange system. A small hatch above the metal door opened. A carousel delivered 10 compressed biscuits. Seeing this, several strong men at the front immediately jammed the door gap with steel pipes.
The door is stuck. Charge in and loot everything.
Hey, so they weren't begging for food. They wanted to rob the place blind. I sneered and pressed a button. High voltage electricity instantly pours through the steel pipes on the justice door, electrocuting the strong men jamming the door, knocking them unconscious. The entire mountaintop fell eerily silent, save for the distinct groans of zombies. I turned on the loudspeaker, my voice icy. I didn't like that performance. Now, the rule is, if you want food, trade gold for it. The crowd stirred. A man in a suit took off his gold watch, threw it into the recycling chute for testing. A green light flashed. Ding! The carousel spat out a box of supplies. The man grabbed the biscuits and ran. Before the others could react, they saw zombies approaching from the distance. Finally, the crowd screamed and scattered, trying to escape the zombies. Watching the chaotic scene outside, I never thought I'd end up on the same path as Felix from my past life. No choice. In this zombie-infested world, kindness is a luxury. The rules are made by the strong. Just then, Felix's inner voice came through.
Ooh. This damn secret passage is suffocating me. My whole body is covered in dust.
Violent coughing was mixed with hoarse gasping.
There's wind ahead. Almost there, the main ventilation shaft. I'll be there soon.
I shot up. My phone clattered to the floor, but I didn't care. He's already snuck in. And he's close. But which ventilation shaft is it? Meow, a piercing cat cry exploded from the storage room. When I rushed over, the little cat was frantically scratching with its paws. At the corner, there, a ventilation shaft grate hidden by clutter was vibrating slightly. Fine dust was falling from the metal edges. That's it. I pressed my ear to the grate. I heard faint movements and panting from inside.
Another 100 meters. And it's the ventilation system.
Felix's inner voice was crystal clear. No time. I grabbed an alloy plate and quit drying cement. My movements so fast they were almost a blur. Amidst the sizzling sound of the cement solidifying, the ventilation shaft was completely sealed. But that wasn't enough. I rushed to the main console. Operated it quickly. Emergency shutters down. Full system scan for secret passage access points. Initiate directional blasting protocol. Boom, a deafening sound. The entire safe house shook violently. A picture on the wall crashed to the floor. Immediately after, a series of dull collapsing sounds came from deep underground.
How they collapsed. Ouch.
Then complete silence. I stood there, only hearing my own heartbeat thumping in my ears. That annoying inner voice had finally disappeared. He wouldn't be a threat with zombies anymore. 2 months later, the outside world had long since changed hands. Zombies and the infected ruled. Mutated zombies, beasts. Pick anyone, and it could creatively lay humans to rest. And my safe house had become the most ironic luxury store in the wasteland, a haven from zombies. Those diamonds once set in famous watches were now only enough to exchange for half a compressed biscuit. But today, a tough customer joined the trading queue. A muscular man through the bulletproof glass. Threw over a waterproof sealed bag.
Exchange for a full set of supplies. Core intelligence on several large survivor gathering points. Weaknesses and their next moves. Intel on zombie hordes too.
In the apocalypse, this stuff is rarer than gold, especially info about zombies. Throw it in. The transaction was clean and swift. Back in the main control room, I inserted the encrypted chip. The screen immediately filled with deployment maps, supply lists, and other key data regarding zombies and survivors. Just as I was analyzing it, several lines of fluorescent green text popped up out of nowhere.
The female lead is so cool. This sword-wielding demon, I'm a huge fan. My hand slammed onto the keyboard. Hilarious. A woman with no prior combat experience? Too fake. The scriptwriter has no brain. Is the muscular man foreshadowing? Author, update quickly.
I slowly looked up. So I'm a character in the story? Like and subscribe to my channel for more contents, thank you. See you in the next story.